All right, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very good afternoon. We've got Professor Anthony Woodman with us today, Deputy Vice Chancellor for University of West London, who will be addressing our students across the country on University of West London programme. Over to you, Professor Woodman.
Good afternoon to all of you. It's an absolute delight to be joining you, even though it is just through Zoom. I'd much rather be there on the ground with you, being able to meet all of you personally. But let's all hope that that happens soon. I think firstly, I wanted to say that I hope that you and all of your families are safe and well at this extremely extraordinary time. You know, that is first and foremost the most important thing. But also, as with most things, it's how we respond to challenges. And having worked with you guys and having lived in India for a period of time, I know one of the best things around is the resilience and the determination of all of you studying in India. And this is an opportunity to capitalize on a very negative situation by putting yourself in a very, very strong position when we come out the other side. I mean, what we've seen in the recent recessions and challenges in the last 15, 20 years is that graduates are the powerhouse of the knowledge for us to come out the other side. And obviously, with what's happening globally, it's going to be key that we have bright minds, talented individuals just like yourselves who are able to take things forward. And by having the degree, you've shown that you have a level of knowledge, a level of independence, a level of insight that makes you valuable to any employer. But above all, and I think increasingly, what we're seeing is that graduate talent also combined with an entrepreneurial spirit, an entrepreneurial way of working, and in fact, a number of you becoming entrepreneurs yourselves. And in a moment, I'm going to come on to IIHM and UWL, but the entrepreneurial part is something that is very key to the partnership of the two organizations. And I think that's something not to underestimate, the importance of that as we look to move forward. And then finally, really, it's the sector you're in, hospitality. We know that's been challenged now. But if I also look at what's happened here, and I'm sure it's been the same in India, the amazing resilience, the amazing innovation of the sector that, you know, if I just even look here local to where I live, there are several of the pubs were closed down immediately. They had restaurants, they obviously had you know, full food and beverage service, etc. They'd never done things like takeaway and things like that, but quite quickly they looked to innovate. They looked to say, I'm in a fairly rural area. They looked to start doing deliveries. You know, I think that showed that general innovation that you know very well as students of the hospitality sector. And that innovation is what's going to happen going forward. You know, how we manage holidays, how we manage accommodation, how we manage conferences in the coming year will be different. But that's going to need bright new minds to be able to ensure that that actually takes us forward to where you need to be. So there's a real hope, a real need for bright, good talent to come into hospitality. But what's the most important element to that is your ability, of course. But you need to use every trick in the book to make sure you maximize that opportunity. And for that, it is having brands behind you to take you forward. And I'm really delighted that you've chosen to work with the University of West London, working in partnership with IIHM and IIM in India. And why am I confident? Why am I delighted you've chosen us? The University of West London is a university that cares about you, our students. Whether you work with us here in the UK, whether you work with us in country in India, or whether you choose to spend some of the time in India and some of the time with us. You matter. Now you're going to say, well, you're Deputy Vice Chancellor. You're going to say that, aren't you? That's your role to do it. But for me, what matters are things like the National Student Survey, which are centrally managed surveys of all students in the UK. And last year, 87% of our students were very satisfied with the courses that we delivered. And in fact, that was such a high level of satisfaction that makes us the #1 modern university in London for student satisfaction. And arguably, I would actually say the #1 university in London of all universities, full stop, because the only one that got 0.5% above us was Royal Holloway, and actually their campus is based slightly outside of London, that I think is pushing it to say it's London. But either way, it means for a university in London, which there's nearly 50 universities and lots of private colleges, to be #1, and actually within the whole of the UK, we were in the top 20 for student satisfaction. So I think that does mean we can, that's important. But also our national standings are that in the most important national ranking, the Sunday Times and Times Good University Guide, we are number 52 out of almost 150 universities. So again, that's a university of repute, a university that's got high standing. And again, with that statistic, we are within the top 10 universities of London. And again, when you think about it, that includes things like Imperial College, University College London, London School of Economics. So there's some very, very big universities in London, and I'm delighted that we're up with those. So that's important, because when you go out there to make a difference to the world, you're going to go, I went from the University of West London. That's a solid university. My degree is from there. And people are going to say, absolutely, that's got recognition. We see that. But you have even better advantage than any student who studies with me back in the UK, because you are also working with IIHM, an incredible organisation. I'm really delighted now that I've been working with Dr. Bose and Abdullah now for coming up to 10 years. An incredible organisation, because I've never known an organisation understand the sector needs, and above all, how to get the best out of students to be able to support those sectors. And you know better than I do the accolades that IIHM has received. But for me, I could go on for ages about how strong they are. Put the two together, you see you have an incredible force behind what we're doing. But I think also there's a confidence that you can have, a quiet, unassuming confidence of IIHM and UWL, and back that up with also the other incredible work that I know all of you do, and I'm extremely grateful, around how you ensure that you get involved with voluntary programs about helping people who are not as fortunate as us get food, etc. I'm sure there's been a number of things you've been doing to help as we go through the current crisis. And don't underestimate that the other thing that will come out the other side of where we are is an increased recognition of humility. And I've always found that from IIHM students, that it's always going to be something that's going to make a real difference. If you can show, I've got talent, but I also understand the needs, particularly in hospitality. Now, I slightly go there. I've just seen in front of me, I'm getting a question coming up, and I saw one pop up. A very, very good question. I can't remember exactly who it was because it disappeared before I wrote your name down. But thanks for it. The question was, what's the benefit of doing a degree? And that's where I'm going to go back to where I started. Globally, as we can see as we move forward, is we can see that generally a number of sectors have started to say we need problem solvers and doers. So we need people who can understand strategy, developing the ideas, but also we no longer have perhaps the money, and particularly at the moment, to also have separate teams to go and do the implementation. So the attraction of a graduate is that you understand the practical skills, you do a lot of time of that, and you're able to go in and do it. But you also have been taught, and the key element of what is the different on a graduate, and particularly doing graduate at level 6, is what do you understand about thinking about a strategy, taking a strategy apart, analyzing that strategy, and then being able to implement it through. And so as we're looking to have to work in all industries, not just hospitality, to becoming increasingly lean. I mean, we're seeing this in hospitality, we're seeing it in aviation, for example, another area where as a university we work very closely, is that the role of graduates is there because what we bring is more value to the business than a non-graduate, purely based on the breadth of understanding and skills that they have. And that's why, again, we've seen it already, is that we're seeing a number of people who haven't got degrees. This is just in the UK. Number of degrees in the UK who are now coming to get the graduate element. They're using the time, they've seen how the job market is now increasingly competitive, and they are looking to upskill to get that degree with you. And increasingly, it isn't just the first degree at a bachelor's level. We're also getting an increasingly, in fact, unprecedented demand for students to come through and do postgraduate degrees, because again, they last a lifetime. They are, of course, an investment in time and money, but they last a lifetime, and they're able to help take you forward to other jobs. Now, I saw another one pop up there quickly, and apologize if I miss any of yours that I haven't got here. Was one about coming to London. What we are looking to do at the moment, we have to work with, same as you work with the government of India, we have to work with well, actually, increasingly, it's the English part of the UK government, as each of the 4 countries that make up the UK seem to be acting slightly different. We have to look on government advice. But what we're looking, and I'm very open to be, as we currently stand, what we're doing is we're looking at our options for October of this year about being fully open. We're looking at options for October with being partially online and partially face-to-face. And what I mean by that is, with social distancing, it may be that physically we can't fit as many people into the building on any one day. So we will look to be able to blend so that practical elements, etc., are of course done in the university building, and some of the theory elements may well be done through Blackboard Collaborate online. I've got a meeting later today, which is going to be talking with my compliance team around UK VI and immigration and the visa status of where we are, because we want to be ready to be able to welcome you to London either in October or into February, or potentially even into April. So what we're doing is we're looking to roll all of our entry points into our programs to have more entry points over the next 12 to 18 months, in fact, so that as soon as it is safe for people to be able to travel to the UK, we're delighted to welcome. So from our perspective, we're very much looking to get everything to be able to support you. What we would do is be able to work with you as to when governments allow us to travel, and we're able to bring you into the country. But I very, very much look forward to having you here with us. So that's the sort of where we are. I think the key, one of the interesting things that has happened with where we are and having to work more in a very enclosed environment is that we have all, I know yourselves are always very good with tech. I think even as the university, we've got an awful lot better at being able to innovate through our online delivery. So I'm just reading another one coming through. I'll come back to that. After getting UWL degree, can I come to the United Kingdom? If you come, I think as most of you are aware, and it's still there, if you come and study in the UK has finally now gone back to where it was before, and has been bringing the post-study work visa, 2-year post-study work visa back. And I was pleased to see that the moment that has still been retained. I was worried that people go, oh, I'm not sure what's going to happen, and we would close that route. As it stands, the post-study work visa is still planning to start from next summer of 21. and that would allow people to stay for 2 years after that. If you've continued to study in India, there are, I think, as you're aware, one of the major changes to the immigration status in the UK has been to put, obviously, talent from India on the same footing as those from Europe as part of Britain leaving the European Union. So I think from a plus side is there is the immigration process. There are a number of key bits. I'm not an immigration expert. It comes down to the job you've been offered. And I think it's roughly about £25,000, something like that. You need to be able to come and work into the UK. So from the point of view of barriers for you to come and the work in the UK, they have been removed, whether you study here and stay in the UK or whether you study outside, because at least now they're on an equal footing. But the other important thing that we're getting a lot more from particularly IIHM, but also from India. In fact, I've got over 200 students in India coming to a range of courses in the university. It is an extended master's program. And I have to acknowledge that part of the extended master's program was through working with IIHM, which effectively allows someone to come having done a degree outside, come into the UK, and in an 18-month program, again, be able to get a postgraduate qualification that again allows you to stay on and work in the UK and move forward. Now, I saw another question came up saying, so I'm just reading some of these as they come through. I think study involved for a third of it. Yeah. So there was one asking how long does the course last? If you come and do the final year of the program into the UK, it actually lasts 2.5 years. It's an honours degree, but secondly, you have 1 year placement as part of that process. So that's why it takes that period of time. Obviously, if you're studying the final year in India, it's around about the 15 months or so that you're aware of. And I think it was then again, it may well have been that the question came through was again about studying the final year in London and everything. And as I say, the plans are still to be able to do that, subject to being able to travel. So that's where we are. So do we have any other questions coming up at all?
Professor Woodman, there are these questions that comes to students' minds about, the importance of the UWL degree and vis-a-vis the students when they graduate from the university, they work all over the world. If you could spread some light on the success of the alumni of University of West London equipped with a degree working all over the world, Professor Woodman.
Sure. I mean, there we are extremely lucky to have alumni in so many areas. I think the one thing that I get amazed by is it's very rare that I don't go into any of the major chains that we would all know, whether that's Intercontinental, could be Taj, it could be any of the major chains anywhere in the world. That I either don't find a UWL graduate, or more likely, I find a UWL IIHM graduate. And you may go, well, so why? Great, that's good to hear. We hear that we work globally. Why? Well, that's because both of us, and I'll talk from a UWL angle, the University of West London has well over 6,000 industrial partners that we work with globally. With us being based in London, that means that many of those are truly global in what we do. Similar to with what you do with IIHM, all of our programs, not just in hospitality, have a work experience element embedded into them. And I'd already mentioned those. If you come to London, there's up to 12 months work experience embedded within that. So what it actually means is that globally we are recognized as having those practical skills. So it means that many of our graduates stay on with where they've already had work experience, and that's why they've been able to move forward. We combine that as well. We're very lucky to have a lot of patronage from a number of very well-known global chefs, from the chief execs of the major chains. And again, that makes a real difference, that when it comes to getting jobs in an uncertain market, employers are going to go to a brand where they know that we're able to support talent, and particularly if it means the person hiring also is one of our alumni, because again, they know firsthand that their careers have really changed as a result. And it's, you know, we're now seeing the real rewards of having built up, you know, multi-thousands of alumni in a number of industries globally. Okay.
Lovely. And in the end, one sentence or one message you'd like to give our students who have already started the year 3 and are looking forward for the degree program.
Sure. So this will be the best year ever. And you might go, well, that's a strange thing to say under the circumstances. But the reason I absolutely believe it will be the best year ever is that from any challenging or crisis situation, there will always be huge opportunity. Why do I then say it's best year for you and where you're going to go job-wise? Because you're living through it. You're living through an unprecedented situation. You're learning at the same time, and therefore you're having to innovate as graduates, as people doing a degree. That comes back to my bit about the degree and the knowledge and the analysis. You're having to analyze. You know, social distancing is now part of your life, my life, but it's also part of your career. You'll be thinking, how do we still do restaurant service? How do we still do that? What that means is you are going to be the first tranche of graduates who understand the new normal. You're the ones with the ideas to move forward. So, you know, that gives you an unbelievable position of opportunity. Is, look, none of us chose to be in the situation we're in now, but you can use that to your advantage. So that's why I'm saying you will be developing the new normal for a sector that we're going to be living in for a number of years. That is going to put you right up there as the leaders of those sectors, not just in India, but globally. And the advantage you've got to think of working with UWO and IIHM is that we will be able to work with you, innovate with you, and you'll be part of that innovation that will make you go out there and be the absolute best of the best moving forward.
Super, Professor, and I would have loved to end the stream, but there's a very interesting question that has come, and I wanted you to answer that. There's a question that one of our listeners has asked on the Facebook about whether we can go to year 3 in London and this current situation and scenario, and can we look at completing our 3rd year from London? So it'll be great if you could answer that.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, on that one, as we say, it is literally based from a university perspective. The university will have every option open it can. So physically, our buildings, as long as we're allowed to do that from a governmental point of view, will be open in the autumn. We will also have a very robust, supportive online option, because there are some people who, for health reasons, etc., would not be advised to come and join us. The big obvious factor for yourselves is going to be the immigration position for both the UK government as well as the government of India, letting you be able to travel and join us. So what we're doing is we're ensuring that every single one of our program, including the program that you would do, is open to start in October, either face-to-face or online, is open to start in February, which is our semester 2. We really do hope that that's face-to-face. And then also probably looking at another entry that could well be in April of 2021. So I think from a university perspective, we're doing everything. We know it is critical we're able to welcome you into London. And that's what we're working on. What we're trying to do is go, let's leave the window of opportunity as long as we can. We can support you online where we have to, and then we wait for the opportunity for you to come and join us. So from that side of things, just to sort of make clear, it may have been reported in India, I saw that the University of Cambridge has said, we're doing all our stuff online next year. We're not doing that, and there's a very good reason for that. You all know what you can do online, but we also know that does not replace the whole reason you'd want to come to London is to experience what London is like, to experience the sector in London. That can't be replicated. And that's why as soon as we are allowed by governments, we will be looking to have face-to-face and say, I've got a meeting later today to work about how we're going to manage the CASs, the Certificate of Sectoral Studies, that allows you to work into the visa process and all of these things through, so that as soon as the window of opportunity comes, we're able to welcome you in London. So apologies, that's not a specific answer. It's only because it's the government. From the University of West London point of view, we are looking to be able to welcome you as soon as we're allowed from a governmental perspective, and we will have our buildings open. We are not intending just to deliver purely online moving forward, and we'll work with all of you on a regular basis, and I'm very happy to join you on a regular basis to update you once we have more clarity around what governments will allow us to do.
Super. Thank you, Professor Anthony Woodman, for joining us today in our IIHM Career Studio and talking to our students live about careers and careers with University of West London, and the benefits that the students get of going and undertaking the degree program.
Sure. I look forward to joining you all again, and I know there are a number of questions that I wasn't able to answer there. What I suggest we do, Abdullah, is that either there may be other times when I can join you, but also we get some more of my colleagues from UWL to join you very quickly to answer some of the other questions. I saw there was a question there about majors in subjects and other things like that. What I think would be really useful is that you get colleagues from the London Geller College to join and see if you can get something set up fairly quick. There's a load of other stuff, and probably if there's a way of capturing some of those questions, let's make sure I get my colleagues to be able to give you the answers you need.
For sure. That'll be super, Professor Woodman.
Good. Take care to all of you. I look forward to being able to meet you soon, and make sure you keep yourself fit and well. And we really look forward to working with you over the next 12 plus months to take you forward. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening. Take care, everybody.
Take care. And on behalf of Dr. Bose and on behalf of IIHM, thank you for joining in today with us, speaking to our students.
No problem, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you. We can all log out now. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And please leave your attendance into the chat box before you leave. Thank you, everybody.